Hey, thanks so much. Maybe some of you guys have already been in watching my first segment. If you haven't, I'm going to just go a little bit of an introduction. And honestly, if you're get into my stuff and you're really excited about it, and there's something you want to talk about with me, I'll give you some information how to contact me later at the end. But also, I would go back and watch the first one. I think what I've done is I've put some things to think about in that first segment about building a system, building a communication system, building something that you can start in your youth league, and then getting something that's still dynamic when you get to that high school level. I would go back and check that out and look at that stuff. And then in this segment, we're gonna move right into a little bit of the RPO and the play action and the if then stuff. So I'm really excited to talk about what we do at East Noble. Again, my name is Luke Amstutz. I've been the head football coach at East Noble for 13 years. I was a head coach at Angola High School in Northern Indiana for 4 years before that. I've been very blessed to be a part of an awesome program for a long, long time. It was a pretty bad program in the 90s that we had a great coach come in 1999 and really turn things around. And I got to work for him for a couple of years before taking over. And, we turned a program from a perennial loser into a team that's had, 4 state championship appearances in the last 20 years. And I know that might not sound like much to some people, but, in regular old, rural public school football, that can be a pretty big deal for our community and our town. And we're pretty proud of it. We got great kids. We've got tough kids. We've got kids that don't feel entitled, that show up to work every day. And I'm excited to work with them. I have stepped away now as a head coach, but I love football and I love X's and O's and I love talking football. And so anyways, there's a couple different types of RPOs that I like to use. We're going to talk RPOs first, and then we're going to go to play action passes. From an RPO perspective, I think they all fall into a couple different categories. One is they fall into space. And what I mean by that is if there's a lot of space and we have something that, we're running the ball left here, but we've got something that we can fill that space. If my quarterback knows this is an RPO, like snag, I have snag drawn here where we're going to run a wide receiver here and he's going to chase it and we're going to throw to that open space. If he sees that open space, I'm expecting that quarterback to throw it. Second, we're going to do what's called a trigger read. So we're going to have some RPOs where we're just going to be looking at a guy. And I rarely am going to have the running back put it in his gut. I don't like to sit there and run and ride and wait and wait and wait. And then all of a sudden the picture changes. What I really like is, hey, I know what this guy's read is. I'm going to pull a guard. He's going to chase it. He's gone from the picture. Now I've got something that I can throw behind him that's going to fill there. And I call that a trigger read as opposed to a traditional read and ride. Now I'll look into that stuff here in a few minutes. The third type is you may have a run here, but all of a sudden you walk out and you have a matchup where you have a defender that's not very good against a really good kid. Well, man, it'd be a shame to not have a play call that you could call that isolates that kid on a slot fade and have a little hitch over here where this kid has a chance. It's 2nd and 2, and they give you this look with all that space out there. Let's pull it and throw it out there and let that kid make a play. I think there's a lot of situations, especially in plus territory. We're beyond the 50 here. If this is 2nd and 4, this is 2nd and 6. I'm throwing that ball into that spot because we can come back on 3rd and 6, run the ball, and 4th and 2, and I get that first down because I really like that from a field position standpoint. So that's kind of the thought process I have with a lot of our RPOs. When it all comes down to it, I think it's all about building a system that allows flexibility to manipulate and take advantage of certain defenders. So if I know I can manipulate this guy, I know where this guy's looking, I can create space, running power left, but I can throw that snag in there. That's what it's all about. And that allows me to be, a spread wing tee, physical run game, but still be able to do some fun stuff and some dangerous stuff to the defense and get the ball out in the perimeter. Another example of just a really quick, easy RPO you can throw in is what we call stay. So stay for us is um, it's a quick throw to number one, and then everybody else, it's a reverse bubble. We're blocking one and we're blocking two, but we're throwing it out here to one instead of throwing it to number three. So this allows us to have some more like kickouts. And we call this really quick. So we could be calling buck or power up here. We get to the line fast, and all of a sudden they're misaligned. They don't have anybody in the gap, or they're running a guy on or off, and we can throw this really quick, and you've got a really nice play out of it. And certainly they're misaligned, and that's why the play is good here. But if you're running your offense fast, you're going to see misalignments a lot. Here you got, we're in our tight end wing, and we're going to run buck right here, but we've got a soft corner, so we're just going to turn and throw it to our. We got a good athlete out here, wide receiver. We're just going to turn and get it to him. Looks like we're running power left, actually. Turn and get it to him. Let him make a play. Really easy RPO. Just turn and throw it to him. If we have two receivers out there, okay, we can block one. Can't block these guys, but if they're a little tight and we think we can get it out there to him, turn and throw it to him. Let him make a play. You got a really good player, you go formation into the boundary. They got everybody over here. They got safety in the middle of the field. They got an island out here. You know he's backpedaling. We're running buck. Turn him throw the stay out here. Let him make a play. And certainly that kid's a really good athlete. If you have a really good athlete, put him in those formations and where you can make some of those plays. Let's see here. Okay. We'll run just regular quick game as an RPO with our kids. So we might have, say, we have Buck here, down, down, pull and kick, pull and lead, running back coming on Buck. But look at all this space. I talked earlier about space RPOs. We've got so much space here. I'm going to tell this wide receiver we're going to run a delay slant. On our RPOs, I'm going to tell all these guys to go get about a 5-step slant and then take off and fill that space because we need some time for this to happen in here. So quarterback's gonna pull it, throw it right into that open space for a nice gain. That's like these again. A lot of these are situation dependent. I'm gonna allow that quarterback to have that opportunity to throw it in the space if we're at in the right time period in the game. We're at midfield. Maybe this I don't see what it is on huddle right here, but this could be this very well could be a second and 10 or a second and 6 because I know that I'm going to go for it on third and fourth down here. So I give that quarterback the opportunity to throw it to that spot where that open space is. Here, we're in tight end wing. We're running buck to the left. We've got hitches on the backside. We got some open space. Turn and throw the hitch. Let the quarterback or let the receiver make a play. Here we've got hitches on the boundary. Throw the hitch.